it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We're focusing in now on the additional third part of the recovery journal, and this is the affirmations. The affirmations. The affirmations are statements that are spoken out loud or to oneself that affirm that which you want. And the affirmations are a direct response, or really a direct contradiction to the insults, the blame shifting, the games, the mind control, the gaslighting, the depersonalization, the dissociation, and the lower vibrations of fear, anxiety, guilt, obligation that a narcissist or a sociopathic, psychopathic abuser has instilled in you. Because remember, they are trying to feed your fear. They're trying to feed your guilt. They're trying to feed your obligation. This is basically negative psychology, that they're trying to keep you down by feeling less than. They're trying to take power over you and control you by making you feel less than, by making you feel unempowered. Well, I have news for you. That is not how life is meant to be lived. You are not meant to feel inferior. You are not meant to feel less than. You are not meant to feel cast out. This is a projection. It is a manipulative tool that such individuals will use to keep you down. It keeps you from really calling them out from their lack of accountability. I think you will find that most narcissistic individuals who insult, berate, find flaws all the time with the littlest of things, are those people who feel very insecure to begin with. So the origin of their insults are coming from a sense of insecurity. They are not able to address people with an emotional intelligence or have discussion oftentimes. They're very closed-minded, which means they're not open to or utilizing the human quality of empathy, which is the ability to hear from somebody, understand that somebody has a viewpoint. Even if it's different, it can have value. Even if it's different, it can become worthwhile. And is that being open-minded enough, being secure enough to be open-minded enough to hear from others and then validate positively where they're coming from and validate them through acknowledgement, just even through listening, is a way for you to create, true, healthy, and balanced human relationships. But oftentimes, those are not the experience in narcissistic or psychopathic relationships. You don't have that sense of validation. You don't have that mirroring back to you. You don't have that support. You don't have that acknowledgement. That does not exist in the relationship. So it's very important, if that has been a void or created an insecurity in you, a feeling of less than or an inferiority, you need to get rooted in the affirmations. Affirmations begin with I. I, which if you say I, it is yourself, correct? If you feel it, it is you. So you need to say that word. Whatever language, you can say it that way. But I is who you're calling into. You are calling into expression your being. Okay, not anybody else outside of you, not any sort of person, abuser, violator. You are calling yourself, and then I am, which means it is the next verbalization, is the next intonation coming out. It is thought that oftentimes that the reverberation comes from, a lot of that electrical energy comes from the voice, and it comes from those statements, because your word is law. So your words have a profound impact on yourself, your body, your environment, your relationships, how you become employed, how you develop your talents. Because you can imagine, if someone always told you that you can't do it, then you won't do it. If someone always shamed you, then you would feel ashamed. You would never go and develop relationships. You would never go out and meet people. You would never go out and open up your gifts, your your talents. You would never go and do those things if someone made you feel ashamed, less than, or inferior. So it's very important you understand the power of words. The power of negative words destroy. The power of positive words create, build, and enhance, and create. So when we talk about the creative power, it arises from the I am. And the I am, when you say it, you can feel it resonating in your solar plexus, which is basically in your gut, which is basically right below your rib cage. So, if you have muffled that, if you have stifled that, if you have stuffed that, if you're, oftentimes, people have never even, spoken from that part of their being. They have stuffed it with food. They have stuffed it with drugs. They have stuffed it with alcohol. They have stuffed it with cigarettes, drugs, compulsive gambling, compulsive whatever. The I am, the empowerment, the seed of empowerment is not, they are not tuned into that. So it's very important to tune into this. Tune into yourself, I guess, is the statement, because it is the locus of control inside. Tune into yourself. If you have been habitually tuned into another, you are losing track of yourself. If you were raised where you constantly had to tune into a abusive parent, you always had to, appease them, please them, then you have gotten into a habit of constantly tuning into others rather than tuning into yourself. You've gotten into a habit of feeling that they're better or more important than you. You've gotten into a habit of not seeing your place, not feeling your voice, not feeling your presence, not feeling your visibility. A lot of people tell me that they feel invisible. Okay? I understand that. They tell me that is a direct effect of feeling depersonalized. In other words, depersonalized meaning someone hasn't validated the fact that you're a living human being with true needs, wants, desires, and wishes, which need to get validated. It's kind of like, what is the saying, what is the sound of one hand clapping in the forest, or, that statement. In other words, it just comes, it just goes into a nothingness. It goes into a void. So you do need to have a sounding board. And that sounding board, though, has to originate within yourself. So the I am is your voice. It is where it starts off. If you were never taught that, if you never lived that, well, the time is now. The time is now, 2000, whatever. The time is now. And really, it is very important, now that we're on the topic, it is very important to live in the now. Because if you're living in the past, or you're living out of regret, or you're living out of woe, poor is me, a pity party for me, whatever, I feel so sorry for myself, this and this, it's time to shake that off. It's time to get over that. It's time to get into the I am. So part of your recovery journal should be the affirmations. And you can write these out again and again. And you can also verbalize these again and again. Because as you write things, I really do believe that there's a kinesthetic learning. Just like when you kinesthetically learn to paint, or you learn to write, or you learn to type. That is what we call a muscle memory. This is what we call kinesthetic learning. So when you see a choreographer, develop a beautiful dance, a ballet or a cinema, that is a kinesthetic knowledge that a dancer has. And so, I had studied dance at one time, and, it took a lot of practice, but then you get a muscle memory. You learn the routine. You learn to do your solo. You get the muscle memory. You are able to execute it. You are able to perform it. And so this kinesthetic knowledge becomes part of your body when you write it. And so I am safe. I am safe. So for a lot of people who are feeling very fearful at the hands of an abuser, I am safe, which is creating an affirmation, which is true. And once you are able to resonate that, and you're able to think about it, and you're able to experience it, feel it, and see it. And you're able to call that feeling into your body. So you need to be able to call that feeling. There's a connection between the mind and really the experience of emotions in your body. So as you create these statements, it creates through the neural pathways within your brain, going into your body, the neural pathways, which are your central nervous system and your parasympathetic nervous system. Your central nervous system is essentially the brain. Of course, the brain connecting with the spine and into the heart, and then you've got the central nervous system, which runs from the brain through the spine, and then the parasympathetic nervous system, which runs to your extremities and helps you to feel sensations. It helps you to have motor abilities, which means I can move my legs, I can move my arms. Those are called your motor abilities. So as you say, I am safe, I am safe, I am safe. As you say that and then breathe and feel it, then your body will begin to relax. It's the power of the word. And so then your body is safe, and you get a chance to feel safety in your body. And you then get a chance to experience safety. And then as you do this again and again, you'll get to then own that feeling of safety. You'll be able to recall it again and again. And you'll then begin to behave from that feeling of being safe. So that emotional expression through your body is basically, it's an instruction. So you need to use the active thought in affirmations to create that which you need, to feel, to be, to become. And those affirmations do create and direct your life moving forward. So if you were to always say to yourself, I am afraid, I am afraid, I am afraid, pretty soon you're going to feel afraid. And then this is the voice that is then created by a violator or perpetrator. I am suspicious, I am suspicious, I am suspicious, I am suspicious. As you begin to say that again, you can feel this anxiety pull up in your chest. If you can, if a violator is going to tell you, you are ugly, you are ugly, you are ugly, you're going to start to feel this. These are all the different things. These are the commands, really, that the narcissistic and even more so the psychopathic abuser will give you. They give you these commands. And a lot of this is done through neuro-linguistic programming, much of which is beyond my knowledge. I don't know that much about that topic, but they do have a way to utilize this to give you commands to feel less than, inferior, and really sort of disconnected from yourself. And it becomes even more of a mind control with the psychopathic. It's a realm that I don't really even want to delve into, because I am, at one with the light and learning and educating people beyond that. So I am all about the power of affirmations and affirming. So I want you to have some affirmations, perhaps 5 to 10 for you to begin with, and I want you to write them out at least 100 times in your recovery journal. And I also want you to say them and speak them into existence. I am inspiration. I am inspired. 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 So that is the active affirmation. And when you say this and use it with a visualization of what you feel inspiration is to you, so that might be to you a rainbow or an open sky or an open field or a meadow or the sunlight. And then you can couple that together with an image. And then you begin to feel this and radiate this within you, and you get a chance to experience this. And then inspiration becomes you. And as that becomes you, then you live from that experience. You act from that experience. You believe in that experience, and that becomes part of your identity, your I am. Your I am is your identity. So it's very important to create a positive identity for yourself. You have the control over that. So the affirmations are a tool to guide and direct the positive creation of your identity, is separate from that was instructed to you at the hands of an abuser such as a narcissist or psychopathic individual. So other affirmations that you might find helpful are that I am free, I am free, I am free, I am free. And as you get a chance to do this, experience this, you then get to realize that you are. I am, I am, I am. And then you write this out, which gives you that physiological kinesthetic knowledge, like we said with a choreographer. And, so it gets written in your hand, and you need to repeat this, just like a choreographer they're not going to know the dance just the first time. You're going to need to repeat this. And then the affirmations are spoken out loud. So they are released out into the universe. But more importantly, and very interestingly, is that the affirmations then cancel out the negative effect of the previous neural pathways that were instilled and ingrained in you by a narcissistic abuser. And if you've been with a narcissistic abuser, psychopathic abuser for some time, I know many people, it is decades, it is 10 or even 20 or 40 decades, for a long period of time. So you're going to realize that when you talk about that, the neural pathways are pretty ingrained and pretty deep, but your affirmations are spoken out and verbalized, and then with your vision moving forward, you're able to prune the old synapses, the neural pathways that had created that old identity, what we call that old blueprint or the old story of your life. So it is very important then to let go. It's very important that you then instruct yourself in how to let go of the abuser so that they no longer have power over your life. Very, very importantly is that, at the end of the day, you have to answer to and be accountable for yourself. You don't have to answer to and be accountable to an abuser who's going to perpetuate you in a life of misery, feeling shame and guilt. At the end of the day, you want to and are required to answer to your higher power, that which you trust, that's who takes care of you, and that which guides you. So it's very important to acknowledge that and have gratitude for all that you have and all that you are and all that you will be, and that you embrace that. And it does take that repetition and experience. So those affirmations need to be spoken frequently and loud, because as you do that, it creates the new neural pathways and that new feeling in your body itself. And as you then get to experience those emotions, you then begin to emit more of the behavior and become more of that being, which is that quality which you deserve. So, and that which you are. And so it is very important then that you create your affirmations and write them down and speak them, and even check in on those on a moment by moment basis. So when you're feeling, that anxiety, then confirm, I am safe, I am safe, I am safe, I am safe, I got this, I am safe. And as you do that, you realize that, okay, I'm safe. And then you give your body a chance to experience the new emotion, the more empowering emotion, and you're able to move, act, and become and be in that. And as you do it more and more, it will become a new emotional reservoir for that which for you to call on, and it'll help you grow as a person. So I hope these affirmations help, and please do use them, and please practice, and please write them down, and please speak them, and affirm the positive statements that which you want to become, be, do, and have. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.